All right. Welcome everyone to the latest episode of, I'm just going to start calling this the Cheddar Podcast, Grant, until somebody comes up with a name that we all like and that feels just right. So welcome to the Cheddar Podcast, everyone. My name is Taylor. I'm joined by my brother, Grant Dunn. How are you, Grant?
Taylor, I'm doing good. I'm
Good.
doing real good. Yeah. I went and dropped off some packages at UPS this morning. Some tents, by the way. Some Ozark tents that were off the OA Cheddar list. They were $125 a piece, and I'm pushing them for $305. Now, in all fairness, we bought them quite a while ago. Amazon said we couldn't sell them anymore, had to remove them. They've been sitting in the garage, and then a few months later, I get to sell them for almost 3 times what I paid. And I saw my old plumbing boss down there, Matt, and got to talk to him for about an hour in the hot sun. So this side of my face feels a little warmer than this side based on where I was standing. But yeah, I've had a good morning so far, and I've been tinkering with some new software, not Cheddarsoft software, but a new fun little tool, and watching some videos. And so, yeah, I've just been enjoying myself. How have you been, Taylor?
I've been really good. I actually want to talk a little bit more about those tents because I thought it was really interesting, some of the stuff we were talking about a couple of days ago. So we recently, we to backtrack even a little bit more, we recently got on Twitter. So for those of you who are watching and are on Twitter, go look up OA Cheddar. We are officially on Twitter, and you have been actually really active in Twitter and talking and just kind of seeing what the sellers on that social media platform are talking about. And going back to the tents, when we bought those tents. And so for those of you guys who are on Cheddar lists, this was a tent, I think it was on Cheddar Surplus, if I'm not mistaken. It was an Ozark Trail, big, huge, giant 10-person dark room tent. I don't know how heavy they were. You would know, you just shipped them out.
I'll share the listing.
Yeah.
Keep talking. I'll go find the
But
listing.
we got this, and the price for these tents were $125. And this was like December, wintertime, right? During the off season. And I snagged 6 of them, and we put them up and we sent them into FBA. Didn't think about how large of a tent that would be until Grant sent me a picture of the product when it landed back on his doorstep. And with the question, what the F? Why did we buy this?
Why is this at my house? I have a prep center. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. Why is this at my house? And so the items were sent into Amazon. I actually think we could have sold them. I think it was just Amazon wanted us to reapply or do something. But one of our account manager, our sister, she ended up pulling the inventory back and removing it and sending it to Grant's house. And so Grant Loebhold has 6 giant tents. And we looked at it, and we're thinking, okay, well, I guess we could put this on Facebook Marketplace, and if not, come springtime, summertime, I think, according to the Keepa history, this item should sell. And sure enough, Grant went to sell his first one on Facebook Marketplace and said, I should check Amazon first, and then realize, oh snap, how much were they selling for, Grant?
Actually, I was about to share my screen, but that would be a bad idea.
No, I can't.
I'm all logged into some stuff.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. No, I can't actually. I don't have Keepa on this browser. But for those here, I actually realize I can on a different one. Let me just load that up.
I have it up.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you want to go ahead and share your screen so we can talk about it?
Let me figure this out here real fast.
So as Grant, Grant saw that they're listed. I think they were around what, 315, 305 is what they were selling for. These tents.
305 is what I got them sold for.
Listed them merchant fulfill, and they just flew right out the door. And that sprung up a conversation between Grant and I yesterday with what he's kind of been seeing on Twitter and some of these, he called them young guys, these young sellers who are just starting, and they're starting to do very well. And the theory that we kind of were tossing back around is some of these younger guys are crushing it with merchant fulfill. And, if any of you guys have noticed with Amazon, if you order something, you're not getting it in 2 days anymore. You're getting it in 3 to 5 days. And the theory that, again, we're chewing around was, is Amazon starting to prefer merchant fulfill sellers because they know that a merchant fulfill seller is quicker to put an item in a box and get it on a UPS truck than what their prep centers are doing. So I'm curious, for those who are live, if you are heavy into merchant fulfill or are starting to see success with merchant fulfill, please let us know and share. So here's the listing right here, this giant tent that we bought. And it just goes to show you guys, even the oversized products can be worth it. Right. Mm-hmm. We don't want to always hate on oversized. Now, it's a logistic nightmare, but if the money is good and the money is right, it works. So Grant, you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, I'm still learning how to use this seller amp tool, but let's see, 125. I don't know.
$1.25.
I think I paid about $50 on average. Oh yeah, 125.00. Oh Lord. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so made about $85 a piece. I actually sold one of these. So I had a guy, I had him listed on Craigslist because I was like, and I listed him, I don't know, probably like, maybe somewhere. Actually, it was more recent than this. I think it was right in this. It was really recent, like right in here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know what these will do. I'll put them up for, I don't care. I just want them out of my garage. I'll put them up for $145 on Craigslist and see if they sell. Sunday, a guy reached out to me and says, hey, I'll come pick one of these tents up. I was like, I haven't heard anything about all these for a while, but it's Amazon. And they're $305. I'm like, let me list 2 of the 6 I have on Amazon and see what happens. And then they sold that day. I was like, oh crap, that's an $85 profit instead of like a $20 profit if I sell it to this dude at Craigslist. So I messaged him. I said, look, man, I'm sorry, because he was going to come the next day. I was like, I'm planning on selling these on Amazon instead. And if you want one, I'll give it to you for $200. And he came and got it. And I'm like, $125 tent. Like if you did a little price shopping online, you could probably find a better deal than what I'm offering, but okay. So yeah, pretty sweet little setup, but yeah, I don't know, Taylor, we can talk a little bit more about it, but it was kind of fun I've had some fun with merchant fulfilling. Another thing that happened too, and maybe this will be a lead for somebody on the call or something, but I had a friend, like we never really sourced Costco. Like we just never did. Right. But, I had a friend that I met at a retreat who is a manager at Costco, and he called me, like a month ago or so. And he's like, hey, I got all these Kirkland Signature 4-packs of like wool socks here. They're $3 a piece. It was like a corporate markdown and then a warehouse markdown. And the cool thing about I assume all Costco's are like this, but when it's marked down, they actually have like the percentage of discount it is. So in this case, it was $3 for a set of 4 socks. In fact, oh man.
Here, real quick, don't exit from this listing though. I want to speak on this real quick. This tent was shared November 11th. Is when this lead was shared into the OA Cheddar list subscribers. And so you guys can see where it was at when it was originally shared. And I think this just goes to show that the buy and hold strategy can be very lucrative. If we were to go in and get these and where was the source?
I mean, these are probably going to go up to like over 350 here soon.
Well, and the source was from Walmart, so we could have grabbed a handful of these if we wanted to. I mean, we could have ordered a bunch, and we could have been sitting on a nice little gold mine here. And everything about the Keepa, that should be it. Bank that in the name for a future discount promo code site, Keepa.
Right, Keepa.
Anyway, it just goes to show you're looking at the Keepa chart. The thing is moving super fast, right? There's lots of velocity happening and not going to try to use a big word, happening inside of the Keepa chart. And then boom, we get to spring and summer. What is going on? Everyone wants to get outdoors. Okay. What's probably not sitting on store shelves this early in the year? Camping supplies, right? And especially with what this item is, a dark room tent. I own one of these, not this particular one, but a dark room tent. I won't ever go camping with anything else because I love it for not waking up in the 5 a.m. in the morning. Super easy to put up, and it was just the right item, as it's moving. So just goes to show you guys that you can purchase summer items in the wintertime. There's opportunity to sell this throughout the whole year, but holding it and waiting for when it's going to be in the highest demand can yield some amazing results.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking to us about Costco. So you talked to the manager and
yeah. He said that there was these Kirkland signature. I'm gonna see if I can find them real quick.
If any of you guys in live have sourced from Costco before, will you just throw a Costco into the chat so we can get an idea to see how many of you have sourced Costco?
Yeah, I think these are them here. And when I had these, I wish I had sold more merchant fulfill and it was interesting. I noticed that all the merchant fulfill sales that I was making were in my local area. And of course, there's plenty of FBA offers on the listing at the time, plenty of inventory. And I'm like, it's interesting. I think that Amazon is favoring me in the buy box because they know that I can get the inventory to the customers faster than they can. And I was telling Taylor this the other day. It's like, it feels like there's this kind of shift maybe sort of happening. I mean, FBA is always going to be FBA. It's always going to be, to use Christopher Grant's, language, the 1,000-pound, the 800-pound gorilla, right? Like over MFN. But I feel like there's like a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm on Twitter with these young people around merchant fulfilling stuff. And I don't know, I've just been kind of tinkering with it a little bit in almost on accident, really. Mainly because I called Taylor, well, listed merchant fulfill, why not? Before you ship it into FBA. And I'm like, okay. And then crap, okay, I'm getting 2 or 3 or 4 sales a day. Like, this is kind of cool. And one of the mistakes I made with this listing, and I bought quite a few of them, like hundreds of pairs. And I wish I had held on to at least 100, when I was shipped the rest into FBA. But I didn't. And I feel like I'd be selling them almost like probably 3 times, maybe like 50% faster. Like that much more inventory would be going out the door if I was doing merchant fulfill. But you can see it's tanked. But I was like, man, you just can't beat a pair of, set of, very fast selling, relatively fast selling socks for $3 when, and so by the way, at Costco, they're normally like $12.99, like $11.99. So they're technically 75% off. And I bought them somewhere, when would it have been? Somewhere in here, I think.
So you see that the offers have come in. So this wasn't just our local Costco. This was happening at other Costcos.
Oh, yeah.
I think we got ourselves a little bit of a nicer deal though, from our store manager connection. But what I see also, Grant, though, looking at that Keepa is the sales ranks also following the price. It's also dropping as well. So, socks like these, great for working men, for work boots. It doesn't matter if it's the summertime, you're still going to want to wear wool socks with your work boots. I think that's what you're seeing here. There always going to be some sort of demand in it. Of course, it slows down around, the beginning of summer and really around August, September, but then it starts cranking right again. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see those offers, especially with how low the rank is and how probably only so. Can you go look at the offers real quick and maybe we don't want to do that. But we can probably safely assume that you're probably going to have a rebound that's happening on this item, in the next few months, and come Christmas and the cold season, it's going to be, probably also highly in demand like it was this last year.
I know, man. This is a game that I wish, like I want to be able to play down the road, and we have this turn and burn mentality, and I don't like having inventory sitting on the shelves, but I'm pretty confident that this will be, it's selling for $16, almost $17 right now, but I'm really confident it's going to be a $23 to $25 pair of socks. Like, could be, just in Q4. I mean, right there was 24. That's the oldest history though I got. And then right here, 25. I mean, FBA is running around $29. Like, I'm really actually pretty confident that this is gonna stop rising. Maybe at some point, maybe Costco way over purchase. You never know. That's the thing. You just never know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how much inventory is in the market. But
you do know this: a 4-pack of socks is probably not going to sell for much lower than $12.
Right.
There is a certain floor that, an item, the items are. So if you're buying it for the right enough price, then you can feel a lot more confident about going in. Of course, it slows down around, beginning of summer and really around August, September, but then it starts cranking right again. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see those offers, especially with how low the rank is and how probably only so. Chris Beam says in the chat, I've noticed the same thing for a few months. FBM is getting the buy box over FBA all day. If they can ship faster, even at higher prices, it makes me start doing some more FBM.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I've always liked FBM. I always thought it was, for those who do it, I thought it was a great way to, especially if you have a lot of inventory on a single SKU, you can double dip. And it totally makes sense. Amazon's laying people off. Okay. They're closing down prep centers from the last I've heard. Now, granted, maybe I'm not in touch with the news. Maybe I'm some of that has changed, but I know that they recently were doing some layoffs. I know that my Amazon pack, I've been doing a lot of ordering from Amazon for the wedding, and I'm kind of shocked at how long it takes. It's taken like 4 to 5 days to get something. I'm like, why am I paying a Prime membership if I'm not even getting my stuff within 2 days? And Amazon knows that too. And if they're going to prefer, they're going to, like everyone knows, customer service comes first to Amazon, the end customer. So they will share, if it means that FBM is able to get to their customers faster and have a better customer experience, Amazon will prefer that method over others. So I think there is something to getting more into merchant fulfilling and starting to kind of get used to that process, because if Amazon starts continuing the path that they are, it's the merchant fulfill sellers that will be gaining the buy box more often. Lots of social media complaints about the Prime 2-day issue. All the TikTok moms are raising hell. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, TikTok moms. And thank you, Chris, for putting the pressure on Amazon. Because
I mean, the thing is, I feel like, okay, so Amazon's in a recession too, right? Let's call it what it is. It's a recession. It doesn't matter what the politicians say. It is what it is. And, I kind of feel like, to me, it's like, that Amazon was scaling and growing at this crazy rate, building warehouses, hiring more people, offering crazy, ridiculous, Prime benefits. They captured a ton of market share. Well, like almost all of it seems like, and now they're kind of almost like pulling back. Like they're in this position where they can't really maybe provide that same type of service. And still like, and maybe they're trying to make a profit, like like I know that they haven't like actually like filed like that they were making profits over the last few years, which kind of makes sense because it was still astonishing that they could provide the services they were providing for so cheap. Now they're not doing that. They're kind of pulling back, and it seems like they got a new CEO or whatever. And maybe, like, again, I'm just speculating. I know I'm so clueless when it comes to like the real things that are going on in the world and in big business. Like, I don't know. I'm a little fish in this big old pond, but tiny fish, minnow, maybe even like an atom. But but what I'm saying though is like they're in a recession too, and to me, it's like it only makes sense that they would leverage. They've cleaned house, they've cleaned their market. They're constantly refining the catalog and and moving sellers out. Although I just read the other day that there's over 1,500 new people apply to sell on Amazon every single day, which is terrifying. I can't imagine they all get approved because it's probably a lot of scam, maybe a lot of scam stuff. But point is like Amazon should leverage the merchant fulfilled network. They have all of us all over the country, all over the world or whatever. Like, why not leverage us to get products to customers faster if they can't do it? And they're trying, and maybe they can't do it because they're trying to make a profit. That's basically what I'm saying in short.
I will sprinkle a little more speculation on that too. When you have Walmart and Petco and all these other sources that are utilizing services like DoorDash to deliver your package from the store to your doorstep the same day, Amazon's going to have to get more competitive. They don't have the regional stores like a Walmart does, where they have multiple small locations everywhere. So how are they going to compete? Well, the only way they can right now is utilize the merchant fulfill network. That's probably because if they're not able to get it out using Prime, the next best option, that's really their only best option. So I'd be curious where Amazon goes with it, because I think Walmart kind of hit it out of the park. I hate the DoorDash thing as a seller because, of course, my prep center is always a struggle to get it. But as a user, as a customer, oh, great. I don't have to pay for DoorDash, and you're going to bring me my $5 deodorant to my house for free.
And I bought it because I needed it right now.
Right. I'm gonna start shopping on Walmart over Amazon. So, you know what? We spent the first 20 minutes speculating and kind of, figuring this out. So everyone can take off their tinfoil hats now, and we'll move on to the whole point of the call, which is
making fun of the color hair again.
Well, Grant, when people ask us if we're twins and I go and I see this compared to that, I kind of have to wonder,
They're
you got,
crazy.
you got Father Christmas over here and no, I'm kidding. I actually like your hair like this. I think you got kind of a cool like shade effect. It's kind of like blending from like white to like a dark brown. Grant's been really proud of his beard, everyone. He has Grant has been growing his beard out now for about 2 years, and he's got some length finally on it.
2 years? That's not fair. It's gotten trimmed a few times.
That's fine. I shaved and I look like a baby with a double chin. Patricia, yes, we are brothers. We are brothers. Edgy and hip. I love it. Devin Eddy, tinfoil hat keeps aliens from hearing us.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here, Devin Eddy. That's cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's talk about some Cheddarsoft stuff. It's been a while since we've come out and talked to you guys about Cheddarsoft. We've been working on a few things over the last couple of years, and we have some new updates that we have recently pushed out that I'm pretty excited to kind of talk about, as well as some future updates that are coming in the very near future. I'm talking like in the next couple of weeks or so, as long as everything runs smoothly, knock on wood. But let me just start with 2022. We launched Cheddarsoft, I believe, in 2021. But in the year 2022, around the second half of the year, we found ourselves working on some non-customer facing projects in the software. These are going to be stuff that's on the back end, making things more efficient, making search queries load up much faster, improving everything that we can. And one of the features that we started working on around the end of 2022 was the My Uploads feature. A lot of folks, when it came to Cheddarsoft, their biggest friction point was getting their data into Cheddarsoft. And we recognized that and we wanted to put a fix. So we started working on an update around the end of 2022, had a couple distractions that had to force us to put pause on that project. And then we ended up launching the new My Uploads tool a couple months ago, roughly around that time. And it was a big improvement where it was at. So I'm going to actually show that My Upload tool, but I'm also going to talk about the new stuff that we have coming out for this part of Cheddarsoft in the near future and why we're doing it. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me quickly switch back over to the account that I need to be on.
Taylor, is this your first webinar with the new microphone?
It might be. Yeah, I think so.
I would love to hear everyone's opinion. Who sounds better, Grant or Taylor?
Please
Old OG microphone, new, fancy, sure, very expensive microphone. Go ahead, nice Taylor. Things.
Okay. So jumping in. So
I really want to hear your opinions.
I'm in our Cheddarsoft account. And I'm going to go to the My Upload section. So with My Uploads, we changed things up. So one of the newer things that we actually just pushed this week, I think it was actually yesterday, was the Manage Templates button. A lot of folks were asking for an ability to manage their templates without having to actually upload data and go to the process where you're about to add it to your leads. So we added that in here, allows you to quickly identify your templates and manage those as you need. But when you go to upload your leads, one of the things that we are changing is how we do bundles. So bundles has always been a struggle, right? Because you can have 2 items or you can have a bundle with 20, 30, however many items, that you need to make up that bundle. And so the question was, how do we upload all that information, but as one lead with tons of different source URLs? And so the classic way of doing it, you had to do a whole bunch of formatting and you had to have a special column. And when we, for bundles, and you had to repeat the ASIN multiple times in both columns to make it work right. And, it wasn't a bad system. It worked very well, but it wasn't the most intuitive system. And so when the new My Uploads feature, we tried to go out and fix that. Now, you don't have to have a column anymore, okay? But there was still a little bit extra work that had to be done and create some confusion. So one of the new things that we're rolling out with is a new workflow for bundles. And so I have an example of a lead list here. I will just say as a disclaimer, none of these ASINs match up to those names, and none of those names match up to those ASINs. They are all scattered and discombobulated. So just for transparency there. But in my lead list here at the bottom, I have a bundle. Now my bundle is 2 rows. It's 2 items, where before we had this, you would have to have 1 parent row and then multiple child rows for every single item that made up that bundle. So that's gone. So when you're uploading a bundle with the new workflow system, you will just have to format your sheet to look very similar to this. So when it comes to a bundle, you have 1 line. We call this the parent row. The parent row will have your buy cost, your FBA price, sales rank, all the information that you're going to want on your lead card inside of Smart Data will live on your parent row. And you can still have your source URL here for one of your items. And then all you need to do is create a second row or a third row for every single item in that bundle, in addition to the one that is already in the parent row. Okay. And then what you would also need to do, and this is on the new workflow that will be coming out soon, is we're going to have a new column. We're going to bring back the extra column for bundles. And in that column, all you're going to need to do is give it some sort of value. It can be a number 1. It can be an X. Okay. It just has to have something in the cell. It just can't be blank. And you do that for each one of the products that are part of that bundle. And essentially what you're doing is you're telling Cheddarsoft, hey, this item is meant, this row is meant to be part of a bundle. So go find the other ASIN that it's supposed to be connected to and then merge them together. What this will allow you to do with this new system is when you upload, you don't have to create your bundle or do anything. It will automatically make the bundle for you. It will know which one the parent row is supposed to be because it will be the row that has the FBA price, the sales rank, all the other data. And your child row, the only thing you need is a date, a source name, a source URL, and you just need to repeat the ASIN that you're intending to upload it with.
Taylor,
and so, yes.
Does it have to have the same for one bundle? Does it, like, let's say it's bundle number 1, should it have the same exact matching digit? Like if you're going to use numbers, it'd be like 1 and 1. And then if it's another bundle, it's like bundle number 2, it'd be 2 and 2. You have to have
no. So it can be, it just needs to be anything. And so think of this as like a yes, no, right? No is blank. Yes is anything other than blank. Okay. So you just put something in here. I recommend a 1 or an X. Developers are still working this, so it may have to be a 1. But we'll see once they actually come out with the final product. But yeah, no, because you already have the ASIN repeating, it will know that that's where it needs to merge together those rows into one bundle because the ASIN is there, and that's the repeating value. So of course we come in here, and I just want to show this process for any of those who maybe have, are not Cheddarsoft subscribers, or maybe they're not familiar with how to build a bundle inside the system. So this will be the new workflow. Okay. You'll have this new column called is bundle. You can name it whatever you want. Okay. But as of right now, if I were to take this and I upload it, I come in, I drag my upload into the little box. I create a new source. Now I'm going to call this just my example. And then I would create my list. It's going to come here to the template and where I need to map out my data. You will see here in your guys' active Cheddarsoft accounts right now that there is a column called is bundle. Okay. And you'll see that actually the date also moved. We did have it down below. Now it's up top. Okay. So when you're mapping out, just know that you're going to have a couple of those new things. So I come in here and I'll just fill out my date, and I want to make sure I add in my is bundle, and you see how it's all populating over to the right. So I can get a preview to make sure that my information that I'm putting there is the information I want. And so I just come in, do my BSRs and category. I apologize. I should have actually had this ready. I had to switch to a different Cheddarsoft account than my demo to show you guys the next feature that I was going to talk about.
Profit right there.
It's profit. Thank you. Sometimes when I'm mapping over sheets that are not cheddar sheets, I get a little confused. So I come in, I have my item, I go to create new template. Okay. It shows me again a preview of my list, and then I hit upload data. And now my data has been uploaded and I'm ready to go. Now, this is the old way that I would have to do bundles to make sure that they worked. Okay. And that would be just to come in here. I would have to go and grab my ASIN that I intend to bundle, and I would have to search it. I'd pull up all the items that are connected to that ASIN. I would say, here's my bundle, here's my parent row. And then I purposely always marked my child rows with a number, so I knew which one easily was my parent. I select those items. I come in here and I would have to group it into a bundle. And then I would just select my parent row and the items would group. You'd get a little confirmation at the bottom. And then if I came into smart data, I could come in here and I could search my ASIN. And when I do that, you will see that you have a bundle that has the other items down below. Okay. Now, again, this is the new way. So I'm just going to point out that because I upload this bundle using the new way, I am missing one of my source URLs. This is what we are trying to get away from. So before, if I wanted this to go in and work, I would have to come down here and I would have to separate this source URL into its own row. Okay. You guys following me there? Does that make sense?
Old way, right?
This is the old way. The old way is I would have to come in here and I would have to set up my bundles to look like this. Okay. I would have to make sure that my source URL was missing from the top, from the parent row. And I would have to make child rows for every single one of them. I want to get away from this. I want to make this smoother. I think having the bundle column, so you can say, hey, tell Cheddarsoft, this is a bundle. It knows what to do with it next, is going to be a lot smoother. Here's the other cool thing about the My Uploads feature that a lot of people that just don't know about it. When you upload, if you've ever uploaded into Cheddarsoft and you ran into an error, it can be super frustrating. Now, those errors can happen because you have a negative integer for your ROI field. Or maybe those errors could happen because your date is formatted based off of European style, where the year is in the front, then I believe the month, and then the day. Or an error could be an ASIN was missing a digit, right? I'm thinking about books, because books are normally a string of numbers. And when you're copying and pasting in spreadsheets, if it has a 0 in front of it, it usually gets cut off. So when those errors happen, it's frustrating, one, because you don't know every time why did this error occur. Okay. And the reason why you don't know every single time is every time there is an error, we have to identify what happened and then write some sort of script to present to the user when that error occurs again, so they know what to do. Right. So it's kind of a learning process. And with the classic view, what you would have to do is you'd have to then cancel your upload, go back in, figure out where the mistake was, fix it, re-download it, re-upload, remap it, and then try to upload it again, hoping that you wouldn't get an error. Okay. So with this new upload system, it will actually allow you to upload errors. It won't stop you. Okay. What it will do is when you upload and say you are missing something like an ASIN or a source URL, it will show you that, hey, here's your lead. It's already in the system, but you're missing a source URL. Do you want to add one? And so that way you're fixing the mistakes on Cheddarsoft. You're not fixing the mistakes back on your original spreadsheet. And as these errors happen, our teams get a report letting them know, hey, an error occurred when a user tried to upload. They can investigate, and then they can teach. I say teach, but essentially create a pathway to where that error could be refixed on Cheddarsoft side automatically. So going back to the example of an ASIN that's missing a digit, right? It will check to see, is this ASIN 10 digits long? And if it's not 10 digits long, is it a number? And if it's all numbers, add a 0 in front of it and try to see if it will connect to an Amazon listing. If it does, make that edit for the user and fix it so the user doesn't have to do anything on their end. That's the type of intelligence that this system will have. The more we use it, the more we feed into it, the more errors happen, the more fixes we put in place, with the end goal being you could upload a pretty messy sheet that doesn't have to be perfectly formatted every single where. And the Cheddarsoft will be able to pick that up, make the fixes for you, or at least suggest the fixes for you, and not prevent you from getting your data into Cheddarsoft so you can start working on it. So that is a kind of a pretty in-depth breakdown of how that uploads tool works. A couple other things I want to point out about this new system is it does give you the ability to make edits and do some really cool stuff. So if I want to select all of the leads inside of a certain lead list, and I want to change the date, I can modify that date. Or say I want to take all my leads inside of this lead list and put it into my Amazon lead list that I have over here. I select them all, I hit change lead source, and I merge them, or I move them over. Hold on, I'm getting an error. I wonder why. It's probably because I don't have any leads in this list. So that's why. But you can move them from one list to another. The other thing you can do is you can also organize your data by ASIN, supplier, publish date, upload date. You can sort it from oldest to newest. Okay, this allows you to quickly identify, old lead data if you want to remove that out of your system. Or say you want to search a certain ASIN, you could do so, and you can search it in the search bar and quickly identify it. You can also do things like update your lead, make edits, all that from here. So that was one of the big updates that we came out with more recently that I think is really exciting. And we're still working on it. We're still tweaking this. You'll notice that this uploads is still in beta. Okay. I don't want to pull it out of beta until we're at a point where 99% of the leads that users are uploading are being uploaded successfully. And we're getting pretty close. I get requests for helps with uploads all the time. I used to get a ton. I get much fewer now with this system. And so that's one big update that we had more recently that I just wanted to touch on. Another update that we had that was pretty big was our teams. So for those who may not know, we do now have an option to invite your team members to create their own accounts. So inside of your settings, you'll go to settings, you'll go to teams and billing, and then you'll go down to team members. Now, you can only add one sub account as of right now. If you want to add more, please reach out to us and let us know. We may open this up to like 2 sub accounts, maybe 3, but please let me know your feedback if you would like to have a couple more slots. But inside your team members, you'll see here that we have myself, which is taylorexample.com. And then I have my team member here that I invited. Now my team member, when I send them an invite, it will look just like this. They'll get an email that Taylor Dunn or whoever you are has invited you to join their team. They click on this little link. It takes them to a page where all they need to do is just fill out their information, their name, email address, create a password. And now they have an account that has access to your account without having the abilities to update your subscription or anything with billing. They can't delete an order. They can't delete something off of a buy list. They can reject it, right? But we put some limited capabilities in this Teams program so that way a team member can't accidentally mess up your data. Now, this is step 1 in multiple steps to make Teams much more robust. So hey, you gotta silence your cell phone, bro. So future stuff, the intention of where we're taking this update is I want to have roles. So you can assign team members certain roles. So if you have a buyer, maybe they only have access to smart data and the buy list. If you have a shipper or a prep center, maybe they only have access to your order data. Okay, so that way you can communicate with them. And we are starting to work with a prep center. Shout out Proven Prep. You guys are awesome. We are starting to work with them about some connection points that we might be able to work out with other prep centers to help feed information back and forth. That was a side note. but Teams will allow to where you could have timestamps. So when you're looking at an order, and if you want to see, and I apologize, this is an old account with just some random stuff. But if you're looking at an order, you'd be able to see the team member that created shipping events, the team member that created the order or bought the item. If you were looking at a buy list, you would have a timestamp or of the team member that added the item to the buy list. Okay. In essence, trying to give you, the owner, the ability to overview what your team is doing on a larger scale. This is also going to grow into different reporting aspects in the future where you could see how much a certain team member is buying every single day. Or if you have a lead generator, and again, this is all future idea stuff. This is just beginning. Maybe your VA or your team member who is going out and doing product research and trying to find leads, you could even track how many leads they're uploading every single day and finding. So that's one new feature is Teams. Again, it's limited to one sub account right now. So you can add one person to your account for free. Reach out to us if you like any more. Again, this is new, so we're testing this. If there is any bugs or anything that comes up, please let us know. I had somebody reach out to me, letting me know that, hey, my team members aren't able to delete a tag. And I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. They should be able to delete a tag. So we quickly flipped the switch, allowed them to do it. So if you are running into any issues where you're like, hey, I would like my team member to be able to do X, Y, Z, we can probably help facilitate that. But also it helps let us know, should we even restrict them from being able to delete certain aspects, or should we that be, it's going to eventually be a setting that you, the user, can adjust. But we're excited that rolled out recently. The other thing that we're really excited about too is the Keepa button. Okay, again, this is step one, guys. So as of right now, on any lead inside of Smart Data, you can hit the Keepa button and it will take you to keepa.com where you can track and look at that product. Okay, we are working on the preview screen. Our developer who built this, he is also building out the preview. So that will probably look like something like maybe you hover over and you can see the Keepa graph, or a setting that you can switch on and there'd be a Keepa graph put somewhere in here. We're still working on a couple of those, little bit of those kinks. But that is kind of where we're heading with the Keepa button. I've also been in some cool talks with a couple other tools, so for some future stuff. But Keepa is our first one. So we do have that option. And then lastly, one of the updates I want to touch on is the save or share current query. Okay. This is great if you search the same query every single day when you're sourcing. So for me, what that would look like when I start my day, I open up all my leads and I will look at only the leads from today. I will organize them by supplier from A to Z. And then normally I like to put some type of net profit minimum in there. Let's just say $7 minimum for this example. And that's how I start my sourcing every single day. Now, I'm going to apply this, and I don't think we'll have some examples. I can apply this, and what I can do here is I can share my current query. Now, if I do this, it is going to copy a special URL that allows you to search, and it will open up Smart Data, and it will do the search based off of all the preferences you have set. It will not open up your data to somebody else if they get hold of that URL. You have to be logged into your own account. Once you apply that URL, it will open up your account and do that search. If you are not logged in, it will just go to a dead page. It won't do anything. Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone knows it's not like you can't accidentally leak out your data to somebody. All it does is essentially fills in all these preferences and hits search inside of your account that you're logged into. Now, I want to make a note right now with Macintosh users, this query, it's not copying properly. We already know exactly what it is. The fix will probably begin within the next 24 hours. It's the same thing that we had with the copy to clipboard button, where with Mac, you have different operating systems. It doesn't copy over. We already got that fixed for the copy to clipboard button. We just need to apply the same fix to this button up here. I already let the team know. Should be done within the next 24 hours. it was something I realized when I was getting ready for this episode. I'm like, wait a second, that's right, this isn't working for Mac. And so I got confirmation that they're working on that. And so, yeah. And as far as other stuff we have planned, guys, I'm really excited about this too. The team's working on this, but attaching PDFs to your orders. So if you're looking at an order, you'd be able to attach a PDF, your email confirmation, shipping, receiving, whatever it may be. So that way you have documentation connected to the order. If you ever need to pull that info, or say you have an IP complaint that comes in, you can easily grab all of the paper trail documents that you need for Amazon. And then we are also looking into the same thing, adding images to where you could add images to an order. This would be great if you're using a prep center and say you have a box of product that comes in all damaged and you're going back and forth with the website to try to get a refund. You can grab your image from your prep center, attach to the order. And so anytime that you ever recall this order to reconcile, you'll have your documents from your email, as well as pictures that you have added. Okay. Again, I see this as step one. I don't want to go too much into the future, but I do think there's some really cool stuff that we can do that will even possibly automate that function. At least when it comes to documents and pulling documents out of your email based off of keywords or order confirmation numbers and things like that. But that'd be cool. That would be cool, wouldn't it? I'm the little mad scientist hat comes on every once in a while, and I actually come up with a decent idea. But the PDF and stuff is being worked on right now. I do think that we'll have that here in the very near future. The team's already written out a plan. They seem pretty confident in being able to get that in. And so just be on the lookout there. Another future thing that we're also are in the works in the very near future is multiple buy lists. I know that a lot of you guys folks have been asking about multiple buy lists. We are starting to work on that as well. I like to think of it as like a Monday through Friday buy list. So if I'm sourcing on Monday and I find a really sexy looking item that I want to buy a ton of, but I know that I can't buy 20 from the source, in a single given day, or I'm limited to how many orders I can get through and the maximum quantity per order, I may choose to want to spread out those purchases around down the whole entire week. So having the ability to create multiple buy lists will help with that. Or if you have
forecasting, like inventory buying forecasting, right? Sourcing forecast.
Or say you're the type of OA buyer who likes to do things a little bit black hat, and maybe you have multiple people who buy using their credit cards, family members, friends. Mm-hmm. Simple enough. You just shoot items into their buy list, and that way they know what to do. So just want to let you guys know we're hearing you. We're putting in those updates that have been requested. I apologize that it's taken us a little while to get here, but there was some stuff that we needed to do on the back end 6 months ago. But we are starting to roll through. Our guys are pumping out updates every single week. The system's in a really good place to keep adding into this. And so there is just a couple of future stuff that we have kind of in the works that you should be seeing applied here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Again, all things considered, everything working out properly, we should. So
it's awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking us through all of the stuff that, is kind of in the hopper right now. I can tell that you've been meeting with clients talking about Cheddars and other people, right? Like influencers and other developer, software developing teams and stuff like that. I tell that you're becoming very well versed and just your ability to communicate about the software is like pretty spot on. And speaking of, before you jump into something real quick, but I know that you are there you go. That's exactly where I was headed, is like, how do people, like, because you're available, right? People can schedule to just sit down with you for half hour and talk about Cheddarsoft and make suggestions or ask questions, refine the skills. Cause it's getting to the point where there's enough things that this tool does that it can be maybe a little overwhelming if you jump right in and try to, figure it out right away. So it maybe a little coaching could be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is probably the one thing I'm most excited about right now is our new chat system. I was a car salesman. I was an online arbitrage or a retail arbitrage expert. I became an online arbitrage expert. I started managing a lead list. I have never managed a software build. And one of the things that I didn't do correctly, I didn't know about until I started meeting with the right people, was you need to have a way for your customers to communicate with you like that. And so I'm really happy that we came out with this chat system. So inside of every Cheddarsoft account, you have a little chat box down here on the bottom right. Now, at any time, you can reach out to us with a message. Now, right now, you are mostly going to be connected to myself for any tech questions, or Cindy for any billing or customer service related questions as that. But when you send us a message, you can hop on and you can just ask what your question, however you want. Okay. And on my end, I don't have it open right now, but I will get a little beep. And from there, we start a chat conversation. I can get back to you if the question that you have is more difficult than what a chat can answer. We can always schedule a one-on-one meeting. I can share this right here with you, or if you're available and I'm available at that time, I've done this already. I'll share a Zoom link. We'll hop on a Zoom, get your question answered, make sure that you not only do you know how to work Cheddarsoft correctly, but also know how to use it in the most efficient way possible. So if anybody who's watching, if you're an active Cheddarsoft member, or even if you are new to Cheddarsoft or are curious about it, you can even go and communicate to us via our sales page at software.oacheddar.com, and you'll be connected to myself or to Cindy and get feedback and answers to your questions right away. We are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be 11 a.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern as well. And so during any of those times, you are pretty much connected to us. Please ignore this. I just want to point at this. Please ignore that's under an hour reply time. I didn't realize this, but if I leave it logged on and I get a message, it does track my time that I didn't answer. So this should be a lot faster. We're actually responding to people within like 5 minutes of them sending us a chat, if not sooner. And I love it. This is a great way for you guys to communicate, get your answers, share your feedback, share your, heck, you can share your frustrations with me. And at any point, we can always get on a call. We can always jump on. I'll be happy to spend a half an hour going through any question that you possibly have to help answer it. And I am training a team in the very near future to have somebody available for you to talk to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or 5 days a week at the very least. So, and then also there's gonna be some cool things here too that we'll be able to build with this, things like product tours, onboarding type stuff. One thing I'm really excited about and where we've had from our lead list subscribers is, hey, how do I get notified if a lead is marked bad after delivery? And this system that we're looking at here, this chat system is I believe the answer to that. Where when we mark a lead bad, we then send everyone a message, and that is part of that certain list that, hey, this ASIN has been marked bad. So that way they can remove it from inventory, cancel the order, not buy it. Okay. But also likewise, get back to replacing the lead with a new one. We've gone away from that for a while now because there wasn't a great communication plan. I could send emails out to everybody, but that just takes a ton of time, and not everyone's going to check those emails. With this chat system and that everything is ran through Cheddarsoft now, you'll be notified when there's mistakes that we have made, so that way you can make the correction. But also likewise, I want to start being able to add a lead and let the people from Cheddar 2 or Cheddar 3 know, hey, this lead was marked bad. Here's a new lead. Okay, so you can go search this ASIN and find it, and you're aware of it. And that way we have just a nice closed loop system. I hate making mistakes on the list. I know the team does. And I can't wait to be able to replace it and make up for those mistakes in real time. Can I share one other future thing, since we're talking about disputes, that we're also is in the works to be done in the next,
yeah, why not? Go for it.
In the next month or so, guys. I recently gave this to our team, but when I mark a lead disputed in Smart Data, now I can do this for OA Cheddar leads. right? But when it comes to your leads that you upload, you can also do it. You can come in here and you can mark a lead as disputed or hazmat. And when you do that, okay, it saves, you close it. You're going to have to give this a second. You'll see it right here. It pops up. The item may be disputed. This is great if you have a team because you can mark the leads that are no good. So that way they know to not purchase it. You can also, after you mark leads disputed, you can come in here into your actions button and you can exclude those disputed leads from your results. So you don't have to see them anymore. Okay. Again, that's like kind of like the first stage into having some type of graveyard or some place for you to essentially say, I don't want to see the leads from this source. Okay. Sorry, exclude. I forgot to hit the apply updated filters button. So now when I run the search, you will see that disputed item has now been removed. So when you mark it as a dispute, or I mark it as a dispute for OA Cheddar leads, I want that dispute icon to follow it to be added to the item in your buy list. I want that dispute item to be added to your item inside of your order. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I also want you to be notified when that item is also disputed. So whether it's the same day or 2 weeks after delivery, if a lead is marked as disputed by an OA Cheddar team member or you as the account owner for your own leads that you upload, your team will be notified. So that way your shipper can cannot ship the item in if that's where it's at, or your buyer cannot buy it, or your account manager can go into your Amazon inventory, pull the inventory and close the listing. So you're not going to take the risk of getting bad feedback or a possible IP violation or whatever it may be. Our end goal here is to give you guys all the control and all the power over your inventory. And our goal is to build the tools to make that simple, easy, and efficient. And so that is something too that we're working on. Again, the developers we've worked with through them, they've kind of, there's a couple things that we're gonna have to do on the back end, but it's definitely doable. And with this communication platform, we should be able to communicate with you guys on a whole nother new level. So, All right, now I'm done.
Well, I think, I don't know if this is, appropriate to say, sorry, I had to drop something off my desk, but, some of this too, like we want to build faster. We want to invest more resources into this month over month. And one of the ways we do that is we build our user base. So, like I said, it feels a little, but I'm just honest, like and you guys are sharing, we have new customers, new users of Cheddarsoft coming in every day, which in all honesty, we're improving systems, but it really is kind of keeping up with churn. It's not necessarily like our revenue is just blowing up, but we do have new people coming in and taking a look at Cheddarsoft on a regular basis. And, slowly but surely we're finding more and more, really sold out loyal users of the system. We just need, we're looking forward to being able to really pour the gas on the build. But right now we can only build it as fast as we can. Part of that's, Taylor, you might be able to talk a little bit more into that as well. And
it all comes down to time and money, guys. And we could have built this extremely more cheaper, but it wouldn't have been secure. It would have been open to outside influences, malware. There are ways to build a database type page very easily with publicly available code that is publicly updated, okay, which is where the security risk can come involved, because if someone attaches some malware code into a publicly accessible forum of code libraries, that can cause some major problems. So our developer team, our head developer, the guy is awesome. He's extremely smart. He's worked for some very large companies in some very high secure areas. And that was one thing he told us is we can do this cheap and unsecure, or we can make this very secure and make it right. And so everything on Cheddarsoft is custom. Okay. Right. We're not piggybacking off of other code. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're storing what we think is extremely valuable information and data. Not only is it your lead data, but it's also your order data. It's your business. Right. And we're not going to cut corners with your business. We're not going to cut corners with our own business. And I'm not going to feel good about having a product out there when I know that it's vulnerable to outside attacks. I mean, we're talking about, I mean, we've seen it now. I mean, the lead business, the online, the ability to purchase leads is a pretty good market size. And there, which means that there's enough incentive for bad actors out there to come in and try to take advantage and scam and commit fraud and frankly hack. I mean, heck, we're seeing it now. What was I think it was Nate McAllister was talking about it, or somebody was talking about fraudulent websites that are designed to target arbitrage sellers, because they know that arbitrage sellers don't care where they're buying it from. They do, but they don't always buy from big box office stores. And if they can present you for an item for cheap enough, you may buy it without doing your due diligence and investigating the source. And so there's already that, and we've seen that too. I have a very long list of blacklisted websites that our team has shared that we have prevented from being shared to you guys, because we have systems in place to verify every source. Are we perfect? No. But are we darn close? Yeah.
We're pretty close.
And we're pretty close. So it just kind of goes like, when we went to build this out, we wanted to make sure security was upheld. And so that's why we built it the way we did. And frankly, we're better off for it. And you're better off for it. And so time and money, and so tell your friends.
And quality, right? And quality, right? And like we're trying to build a premium platform, not, like you said, cookie cutter. Let's slap some branded coloring on it, our brand colors on it, and call it our unique software. It's like, no, this is, like you said, custom. I think that's really well said. Like, that's what we're building, is a very custom platform. And because we look around, we see the other people building software that are kind of close to what we're doing, and our team goes in and looks at it, and they're like, yeah, this code is literally like borrowed goods. It's not secure. Like, we could, if we wanted to, which we wouldn't, we could hack the shit out of this thing and it could burn. So I'm not saying like that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. He's just saying, like, if we were bad actors, like, wanted to attack this, like, they're so vulnerable for attack, which is kind of scary when you think that, like, all these, sellers putting their data inside the system. So anyway, all that to say, like, we're doing our best by you guys. So Taylor, really well done job today. I think, like I said, I really enjoyed, I feel like watching you present OA Cheddar and talk about OA Cheddar from like now to like 6 months ago, even, just like totally different. You're truly like stepping into this role, evolving with the business of OA Cheddar and what's high priority for us and stuff. So I'm just super grateful, that you're my brother and that you try so hard. And I know Gabe is too. And everybody on the team, like, you're vital. So appreciate you. Obviously love you, like a brother. And
well, I really appreciate that. And this has been the most interesting and most enjoyable project I've ever worked on in my professional life. It is a mountain. It is a mountain of information. It is that you have to learn and try to understand. And I'm really appreciative of one, you guys, you and Gabe, for not only just believing in me and trusting that, I can head up this project, but also giving me the resources with the different, like the academy and stuff that we're part of. Grant and Gabe I was lucky enough that Grant and Gabe allowed me to, or paid for me to have access to, a program from Dan Martell, basically a bunch of other SaaS founders coming together and learning. And man, it's a lot to learn, and it's a lot of stuff. So so thank you. We're at the top of the hour. So I'm going to, if there are any questions that any of you guys have in the live chat, feel free to ask away, and I'll be happy to answer them, or show anything on Cheddarsoft. If you have any questions of, hey, can you do this, or how can I do that? Be happy to show you guys and take some time for that.
That's true. We did call this a Q&A, and we're at the top of the hour +5. So I don't really actually see any questions. I think people are just, enjoyed, hearing you pitch and talk about the future of the business. If any questions do come through, we can maybe answer those in the after show or so.
Yeah.
Would love to join your lead group. Where do I find you? oacheddar.com.
oacheddar.com.
And there, I think there's a link to our Facebook group on there too.
Yep. oacheddar.com for our lead lists. There is also a page there about our software that you can find our software page. If you are looking to know more about Cheddarsoft, you can go to software.oacheddar.com to get more information. We will eventually change the name and have a much easier to remember website. That might be something for the future calls that we can talk about more. But right now, software.oacheddar for Cheddarsoft information. If you're curious about our lead list, oacheddar.com is where you also can go to learn more information about that. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this call for now. For those who are on live, you can feel free to stay afterwards for the after show, and we can take any questions or just hang out for a little bit. Other than that, for those who are watching the recording who are on YouTube, thank you so much. Grant, any final thoughts before we head out?
No, thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you to all of our customers who've supported us since 2018. And it's a fun ride. We're enjoying everything that we're doing, and we love serving you guys. We love your feedback. So let us know if there's ways that we have helped you. We love hearing good news like that. Sometimes our support team could use an affirmation, because usually support is not always good news. So yeah, if you appreciate our team, or Cindy in particular, or Taylor, and he served you in any way, like, definitely shoot us an email and let us know. Otherwise, you guys have a great night. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Okay. Helps us out a ton. Share this with your friends. Other than that, you all have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.